Hi everyone, my name is King Ivy, and this is just a video of me voicing over, narrating. Basically, at this point, I had wrote probably like 70% of the script that I needed to actually run the analytics on the top 25 songs of 2014 based off of the Billboard Hot 100. So at this point, I'm just renaming the fields, copying the script over into I use this program called Idea. I think this is Idea 9.3, and at this point, I'm just formatting, adding the scripts in, renaming the files, renaming my. So this is very similar to Visual Basic or like VBA within Excel, where basically I'm just adding my subroutines in. So right now, I'm just playing around with. So this is at 10 times speed. I think this whole process probably took me about 2 hours, and then I recorded the last hour of the process. So right now I'm just importing all the files, playing around with the data, seeing what I can do. At first I tried to combine the data first using in Tableau, but then I didn't find that worked very effectively, so I imported them separately. So right now I'm just showing the top words versus the length of the song analysis. And then here, I'm just putting together a quick dashboard, playing around with the formatting, playing around. And this is what it's really like when you put together like visualizations. I know it looks really nice at the end, but really it's just a lot of like playing around with what looks good. And obviously you come up with some principles like around white space and having more information, more data relative to the amount of space they're using. So right now, what I'm trying to do is I'm using shape palettes. And basically, I'm taking all the pictures from the Hot 100 and then using those as the shape, and that'll be part of my main dashboard. So I ran into some issues because I couldn't right-click and save the image, which is fine. So then what I basically, the part of this process, I make it really seem really smooth by then, but really the process is kind of a hit and miss, and you try this and you try that, and then you work with limitations. So here I'm just taking the pictures down. This probably took a couple of minutes. So right now this clip again is at 10 times speed. I think in total this clip is 7 minutes, but it was well over an hour of me recording. And then, so right now I'm just shape palettes, and I realized I forgot to copy one of the shapes. Playing around with the formatting, like whether I should do vertical, horizontal. I decided just to add in, see what it looked like, and then play around with the dashboard sizing, the realign legends, and what I ultimately want to do. So what I end up going with is basically this feature that allows you to, whenever I basically use the artist pictures as a filter, and then when you click away the artist filter, it removes everything. So it's a really like neat function. That way, if you have a lot of information and you only want to show a portion of it, and it's a quick way of leaving it blank and then only showing the information that you needed. So right now I'm playing around with the different formats. I tried to combine like top words and like frequency of like the number of unique words relative to the words used, but I figured that it was probably best to separate them. Like whenever you have to put a really long title in, that's probably an indication that you should split out your dashboard, because your dashboard should have a certain theme to it. So right now I'm just playing around with whether or not I should be using any filters and like editing the legend. So you can see this process here. Decided to just go with one filter, which is the number of YouTube views. So I decided to change it from, I think I changed it from like artist to song. That way it was a little bit better. Playing around with the size of the legend, where the legend goes, and this is all like just playing around with it, following some fundamental principles. So here I'm just giving some instructions like click on the artist pictures, because someone could open up this dashboard and be like, what the heck's happening? So just playing around with it, playing around with the sizing and the text that ultimately gets into the pictures. Yeah, just formatting, trying to figure out what the best format is. So this one I got really confused because I'm supposed to see the most common word, but ON kept showing up as the most common word. So I looked back into Idea, playing around with the formatting. I ended up importing a summarized version rather than the raw version, but I was still running into a similar issue. So then I played around with it, made the median. Then I was like, why is happy so low? And then what I realized was that when I was analyzing and splitting the words, I didn't. So happy in all lowercase was different than happy with the capital H. So then what I did was I changed my script. And this is the advantage of writing a script, is that I can make one change really easily. Yeah, I could have done this in Excel and split it out, but if you make a mistake, it's really hard to fix unless you wrote it in VBA. So in this case, I wrote it in IDEA in the script maker, and then I was able to add a function called upper, which basically forced all the characters to be uppercase. So here I'm just formatting, playing around with different options, removing some grid lines, and adding some different options, double checking everything, and making another note saying that you can. So here in this case, I'm trying to figure out what are the top words. I'm trying to figure out what's a good way of showing it. So right now I'm trying to use a function called rank, and I'm playing around with it because I'm not overly familiar with table calculations, but they are extremely useful. So this one's basically the top 25 words for the top 25 songs in 2014. Here I'm saving it, and then when you save it, then you gotta realize that you gotta adjust the sizing, because I put the sizing as automatic, and then I realized it was too small, so then I had to adjust all the sizings manually, and then for some reason it didn't upload properly, so then I had to save it again, and really just like playing around with the legends and make sure that you have everything properly formatted. So you can see there. Yeah, that's pretty much how I basically did analysis. It's about a 2-hour process. I recorded the last hour or so. Another hour of the process was actually collecting the information. In terms of the visualization, that's pretty much the process and how I go about it. I use different tools to analyze, and I use different tools to visualize. So it really depends on what kind of process you have and what kind of data and what are your ultimate objectives. So that's pretty much it. So hopefully you learned something, and hopefully that was kind of a different process to have my screen constantly recorded. But I thought it was interesting. Thank you, and look forward to talking to you next time.